She's pretty. He's lucky. They're the Funks, husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Pat and Stacey Bruton. Join us on Wednesday at 9 p.m. when we talk with them about the power of two on the next Raw Talk Live.
It's time for Raw Talk Live. Hi, girlfriend Peggy.
Hey, girlfriend Miss G. How you doing tonight, beautiful?
I'm doing just fine, beautiful. How are you?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good, road warrior. You've been a road warrior this week.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
just a little bit. Just a little bit. Good. I'm excited about tonight because we have two friends joining us tonight who have each been on the show as individuals. On the all-female panel, DJ Mellow Yellow joined us on that panel to represent married women. And then, of course, we had her husband, P-Funk, Pat P-Funk Bruton, on with us when all the men were on the men. Oh
what
my
show.
God, the men.
What a show. Oh, yeah.
The men.
That's one for the archives. We got to go back and check that one out. That was a good show.
That was good.
That was hot.
The panel, and he was part of that. He was fire on that panel. So our mission tonight is to keep the conversation going so that he doesn't feel the need to take off. Okay. So we that's the running joke there. If he's not having a lot of fun, he'll get naked. But we're going to talk tonight about the power of two, of being a couple. Hey, hi Sinitra, welcome baby. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. And and so kind of shed some light, girlfriend Peggy, on where that came from.
Yes.
Us wanting to have the married couples on.
Yes, because I said, they make it look too easy, too simple, too easy breezy. I want to get that. I was married for 14, well, together with my first husband, my only husband, 14 years together with, married for 12. And it's not easy, but they, somehow people have a knack of making it look so easy breezy, like it's just a breeze, it's just what we do. No, we want to get down to the bones of things, like get into what the real nitty gritty is, give some real tips and some, tools to navigate through and get through some hills. And, it's full of ups and downs. So, yeah, to get a view of something that can help them navigate through their relationship, because it's easy to throw in the towel, but to hang in there year after year with one person, with the same person, that takes guts, fortitude, might, power, praying, wisdom, everything else. So we want to know about it.
Yes, most definitely. So we want to know, and the only way to know is to get them in on the show. So put your hands together and show your love for Mr. and Mrs. Burton. How you doing?
What's up? Hey, everybody. Hey, Miss Peggy.
Hey,
Good.
What's good? Hello, Facebook.
How y'all doing?
YouTube and
Raw Talk Live.
Hello. Good to see you.
Yes, it's an honor to have you guys in together. And of course, separately and together. It's an honor and a pleasure. Queen, you're looking beautiful tonight, King. Salute.
Yeah.
You both as well.
Yeah, I'm in the room full of women.
That's right.
What's up, fellas?
Eat your heart out, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Most definitely. Yeah, but y'all have a lot going on. I thought about it. I said, oh my God, they have been together for so long. Is it 25 years now or 28?
We've been married 24 years. We officially been together 30 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
We need to ring the bell on that one.
Yes, that is awesome. That
Yes.
is
She hit that
absolutely.
Powerball. She played one ticket
Oh boy.
30
No.
years ago. That was all she had to play. One
You hit
ticket.
the Powerball. I hit the lottery.
Oh, whatever.
Y'all hit
Almost
something.
$1 billion.
Y'all got the winning ticket.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
But so that you courted her, you dated for 6 years before you decided to get married?
Yeah.
5 years. We
Five,
dated 5 years.
5 years. I mean,
Okay.
it probably would have happened quicker, but she was trying to put the pressure on, so I made her wait like an extra year.
No, he was dragging his feet, so I had to put my foot down. Don't believe him.
That's right. That's
look,
right. And what you do about that, you go, listen, you got until your time is up, sir. Is that what you told him? Your time is up, sir. You gotta poop or get off the pot.
Absolutely.
Look, I didn't approach her. She approached me. So I'm from Richmond Heights, Florida, by the way. Miss B knows about Richmond Heights. We don't have to do too much.
Yes, that's my hood. That's my hood. That is my
I'm
Orlando
Broward County
hood.
girl. I'm from Broward County.
Broward County.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
So yeah, man, we just we did our thing for 5 years, and then we finally the truth be told, we got a phone call because I was raised up in a certain church over on Livingston Street, Church of God, with my grandmothers, and they got whiff of us living in sin. So when I got that call already, I knew what that call was for. So yeah, when we got over there, she didn't talk to me, she talked to her. So
yeah, I was like, that's not fair. How y'all ganging up on me?
Hey, look, she had to lay down the law of the land.
No, but trust me, she was right. She was absolutely right.
She was right, and she spoke to the person who had the power.
Yeah, and look, she already said, "You know better." That's all she said. You know better. Right. So, but let me talk to her and tell her why that you know better than to be living together and not be married. So she basically reminded us. Yeah, she told me we will never get blessings until we do right. So we're gonna act like we're married. We need to be married, and yeah, and it's a true statement because look, once we got married, all the little extra back and forth problems we had in the beginning, then we started getting blessings, and we was like, well damn, that's all we had to do was get married. Somebody was trying to tell us something, huh?
Yeah.
So, we used to fight all the time.
Yeah.
That's when they had good old mothers in the church that would do things like that. Now I don't know if those mothers exist so much or really step in and put that dime or that little birdie in your ear like that now. But yeah, back in the day, they would tell you. Yeah.
You had we had that upbringing, but now it's like, hey, we grew up there. Miss Stacey tell everybody this, when in comparison with dating today and dating when we came up, we grew up together. So we got to really fall into place together. Dating at I don't know if we could. I don't even know if I could date at this time, day and age, at this age, because when you meet people, and we hear this all the time, people are automatically set in their ways. They're established. They have their career, and there's a lot of stuff you have to be on board with to be able to date someone who's already set in their mindset at this age. When we met, we didn't know what we wanted. We just know we wanted to be together, and by any means necessary, but we fought all the time because we were just young and dumb. YD, we were young and dumb.
But you
made it through, though. You made it through. So how old were you when you got married?
20.
I was 23.
So yeah, I was 25.
Just a baby. Oh, you snatched her right out.
Yeah,
out of what, 10th grade?
Yeah, she was 18, and
right
I was
out of high school.
Yeah, right out of high school. So yeah, and she, like I say, we got together and we met, like under some crazy circumstances. We both had just kind of like separated from our exes, and
we met the same night.
and we
I
met.
just separated from my ex, and I met him the same night.
And me too as well. About 2 weeks previous before that. So it was like it was supposed to happen. But when I went out, I was the shy type. I didn't really approach people. And when she approached me, I was like, I felt lucky.
Listen,
you took the pressure off of him. That's a lot of pressure for a man to approach a woman and with the concern of rejection.
Well, Miss B, the truth be told, the night when we were out, I knew she had never been to this place before. We actually met at a club called Tracks that was out behind Wet n Wild, long time ago. So and I knew she had never been there, but when I saw her, throughout the night, it was crazy because at the time I saw her with a friend of mine's brother. So I'm like looking at her, I'm like, well, damn, she's with him. That's my homeboy. So
that's off limits, right?
I'm like, that's off limits. It's cold. So
right, and both of them were thinking incorrectly because I wasn't with neither one of them. I was just there with my girlfriends.
So
hanging out.
Yeah, and see, and actually, I know Miss B. You may know Eddie Taylor. We were out together, and they ended up dancing together, and I ended up dancing with her girlfriend, and it was like, this is kind of weird. How do we switch like that? But somehow, some way, she approached me, and we kind of danced, and I didn't say anything in the beginning. And she was like, do you even talk? I mean, I was just shy. I didn't really talk to.
I can't picture you being shy.
I know.
I mean, I can't picture you being shy at all.
Honestly, I didn't think he was interested because you would think that he would be more of a talker and he would approach you, but he was super quiet. He didn't say 2 words.
Yeah.
And the first thing he said, probably after 15 minutes, was, "What's your name?"
That's it. That's all I needed right there.
It was like, that's it?
See, fellas,
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
I didn't even have to come with, the line. I just, hey, what's your name? And that was it. And it got me all these years. That's it. But that night it was a special night. I gave her a rose. We were doing some type of promotions for something that we were doing, and we had these flowers that we were giving out to all the ladies, and she was the only one I gave a flower. And then then we had to kind of make it work. We had to do a lot of creative things to be together.
Yeah.
So over the years, it was like, wow. When we think back, we had some creative ways of being together.
There was no cell phones back then.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that you didn't have that issue. And because now it can be an issue, but at the time it meant I have to be at home to get a phone call from you.
Oh, maybe you have to be at 7-Eleven to get a phone call.
Or maybe you don't have a house phone.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe you got to be at 7-Eleven.
Yeah, I didn't have a house phone. So we had to coordinate our communication at this pay phone at 7-Eleven behind my house.
Shut up.
Hey, call me at this time.
Yeah.
I had to do it. I didn't have any means of transportation back then. So, I was borrowing cars to get over to the east side. And, I was out of my stomping ground. So.
Oh, where did you live?
I lived in Winter Park at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? I'm like, where am I? Driving, I'm leaving Richmond Heights. We didn't really leave Richmond Heights and Carver Shores and the surrounding area.
We didn't need to, right?
Yeah, it's like I'm in a foreign place. So yeah, it was creative in the beginning.
That's going on the opposite side of the tracks, in other words. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So. He wasn't familiar with my side, and I wasn't familiar with his side because I had never been to the west side, to Richmond Heights, nothing until I met him.
And
was that part of the intrigue? I said, was that part of the intrigue with each other? Because you was kind of like from different areas, and you knew she probably was an innocent, shy girl, and he was a shy type. And I mean,
well, look, it's been a culture shock. Her culture is Jamaican. Her background is Jamaican. She's Canadian, and I'm straight from Richmond Heights. So it was a, it was a big culture difference about a lot of things. And, she taught me her culture, and I got to teach her some. I've never met a Black person that never had collard greens before. That would kind of blew my mind. She never had soul food before. I like, okay, well, I got to teach her some things. But then she taught me, the Jamaican culture. And I'm like, wow, so did a lot of first things. My first flight with this woman, I've never flew before. And it was the funniest thing. We went to Jamaica and we were on like a bus. I guess it was bus airplane. I'm holding on to a mom's purse like it's a parachute in there. So it's amazing when you meet somebody how they can change a life, especially when they light skinned, because they're coming back. That's another thing we had to deal with. We had to deal with how two light skinned people get together.
Yeah, y'all look alike. I was like, what did that look like?
Y'all look like cousins or something.
Yeah, we need to we started checking our family tree there a little bit. So
stuff happens. Yeah.
So one of the first things you have to do, man, you have to make sure you give that person a chance, and like we tell a lot of people, man, you meet people, and a lot of people may disagree with it. But you don't meet saying, hey, look, man, I think I can marry that woman, that man. You get through that courting stage, and there's all things about the courting things that you have to go through. And then you kind of get to the level where you say, hey, look, now let's see what the realness is, the chemistry is, and we go from there. But like I say, being young, we didn't have it. It was like upper hand. We was that that young couple who can get the upper hand. I'm gonna have it this week. Oh, he'll have it that next week. So we were just fighting back and forth. We were just young and dumb.
We all trying to figure
out.
Well,
everybody fighting for a position of power and working on creating the best relationship you can, for yourselves. Did both of you grow up in 2-parent households?
No, I grew up in the sink with my mother, single mom, and
I grew up in a 2-parent household to a certain extent because my dad was always working in either another state or another country. So, but he was involved in our lives.
Military? Was he a military man?
No. He's an electrician, so he would go where the money was. So a lot of times I grew up in Tampa and he's in Canada working, or Jamaica. It's just random, but he was in our lives.
Yeah.
So who taught you how to be a wife?
My mom, I guess. That's the only person that I was around that was married. I didn't know any married people other than my mom, my aunts, and everybody. And my mom and my dad, they were married over 20 years. So.
Yeah, so you learned from her.
They kind of come naturally.
How to be a husband?
Huh?
Who taught you how to be a husband?
My mom. Yeah. Well, no, I'll say this. On our street, my next door neighbor, he had his father there. They were actually on our street in Richmond Heights. I think we had a total of maybe 2 dads on the street, and I was lucky enough to have my next door neighbor have his whole entire family there. It was his stepdad, but he was his dad. So we kind of got that example. It was always learning how to say Mr., yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, So, that's seeing that and seeing how having a family unit can change a child's life. It's always, and I'll say this, that's the problem with, some of our communities, that us as Black, kids, we don't get the opportunity to have it in the house to see how it's supposed to work, and seeing other, families do that. And I'll say this, yeah, one of my other friends, he had his stepdad there. So yeah, that's how I learned. I learned and through aunts and well uncles and things like that. We had people in the family that had been
Exactly. A lot of men try to, I would mostly say men, but probably some women too, try to use the excuse that I didn't have a dad in the home or I didn't have the example. You may not have it in your home, but there's somebody close by that you know, just like you just said very clearly, it's somebody in that neighborhood. It's somebody that you can watch, that you can know how it's supposed to be done correctly to say this is the way it's supposed to be done and not this way. And and again, once you get of a certain age, even though you didn't have that example, you naturally, I think you're supposed to do the way things supposed to be when you're dealing with a husband or wife or family.
and you see how these men over time treat their wives and stuff, and they're there with the kids, and they're doing things with the kids. So yeah,
In the
definitely
church.
got a chance to see that in the neighborhood. I got a chance to see that, with my family, with my like I say, my uncles and things like that. So not having my father there, as a child you want that, but then you realize as an adult that, hey, look, when you got that strong woman there, and she's not gonna let you go astray or do anything. She's gonna teach you the best of both worlds. We had that.
That's excellent. That's excellent. I want to say shout out to all of the folks joining us in the virtual building tonight. Sean White in the building, Sinitra in the building, some other folks on Facebook in the building, and thanks to those who are with YouTube as well. It's so nice to see you. Welcome. We're hanging out with the Funks and just getting a peek into into their wonderful married life. Now, when you were that young, did you all didn't have your careers? You weren't set, right? You were still trying to figure out what it is you wanted to do.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we did. And
Wait a minute. Before y'all jump into that question, just real quick, I wanted to go back and touch on something y'all spoke about, and that was the fighting. Do you feel that fighting was essential and very, like, I feel when you get to know a person, you are discovering that person and you're getting to know who they are, the likes and dislikes, what make them mad, make them angry, what not to do, what to do. Isn't that fighting stage in a sense essential foundation work so
it
that
is.
you know how to govern yourself moving forward?
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree
Or
with
did
that.
you,
That's all it's going to turn into when you disagree with somebody at an early age. Like we were, I mean, we were young, and we were like, not willing to,
Compromise.
compromise. That's our word, by the way, y'all. We're gonna get into that. Our word is compromise. Um, we weren't willing to compromise, so therefore, it was just like you said, it's upper hand. But yes, it's a learning tool, because now through all the fighting, we get to hear what, hey, she didn't like this. Oh, he didn't like that. But you're also giving them the goods too, because if you give somebody what you don't like, they can use it against you sometimes and push them buttons. So that it's a two-way thing. It can
It's a
work out to
catch
be good,
22.
but
Yeah.
then it can work out to be bad too, because when we want to get each other goat, we know how to do it.
Mm.
Well,
right?
that's
But
Yeah.
that was like I say, in the young and dumb days, we was young and dumb.
But you fought it out, you worked it out, and you made it happen for yourselves. Hey, Cheryl Walker in the building, thanks for
Yes,
joining
sir.
us. Our girl Jane too, and Exquisite. Much love to all of you. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it. And but all of that is necessary. And so then you kind of smooth that out, and you get things going, and um and then you now you've created several different businesses for yourself that you operate together. So at what point did you come to the conclusion that you all were going to work not just for other people but also work together for yourselves?
Well, I just straight up told Stacy, man, look, when we met, of course I'm a couple years older than her, you know, for me,
You more than that.
I'm 3 years old, whatever.
Couple.
Anyways, you know, coming into the relationship, I had to respect the fact that, you know, hey, look, she's probably coming into something that, being a young woman, you know, she wants to experience things, and I get it. But also, like I told her, I'm like, look, man, I got things that mentally, you know, at this age I want to do, and that's to be set by a certain age. And you know, when we had these discussions, go ahead.
Yeah, he gave me timelines because you know he was ready to get his apartment, and I wasn't really at that point yet because I had just graduated high school. I was still in college. I was like, man. But then I'm thinking like, but if he get a place, I'm gonna feel some kind of way because I'm gonna be at my mama's house and he's gonna have his own place. So he said, what did you say? If I'm gonna move out, either you gonna be living with me or without me, because you're not gonna do both. You're not gonna come here, sleep here, and then go back to your mama's house. You gotta choose which one you're gonna do. So I was like, okay.
Ooh, he was forcing you to be a woman, fully grown.
Well, Miss B, let it be told, and we'll give her all praise to her mama. Her mama said it like this, you know, hey, you guys, you know, because I would be over to her house, and it just got to the point where it got later, and it got later, it got later. You know, it was just to that point where it was like, man, we can't keep doing this. You know, because we're under your mom's roof. You know, if we're gonna be grown, like my grandmother said, you're gonna be grown. Hey, you're gonna be
we doing grown people stuff.
Exactly.
Grown all the way. Yeah.
Right.
So
take it to the next level.
So out of respect for her mother and mine, you know, we like, hey, look, we're gonna get this apartment. So I remember we had to break the news, and it was the easiest news because her mother was like, well, I already knew.
She already knew. I didn't even tell her until we got the apartment.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked back since. We've both been on our own, you know, since what, age of 18?
Mm-hmm.
I never had once had to run back to mom's house and live there for a couple months or whatever. It's just been me and him from that point on.
Yeah. So yes, we got it, you know, we found out what we wanted to do, and then we you know, we kind of put that into motion from the apartment, and then, you know, as far as what we wanted to do as far as building, because our whole thing is my goal is I wanted to have a house by the time I was 30. And you know, now that I have this extra person in my life, people have to understand you got to get people on your page, and you got to get on their page, because she might have not wanted a house. You know, she might have wanted an apartment.
I think about no house.
Yeah,
honestly,
exactly.
He motivated me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You
know? So again,
and that's beautiful. He's the man. He has the, you know,
Yeah,
you don't want a man without vision.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, knowing that, you know, we were out into the world now. We were like, okay, do we want what life has to offer? Or do we want to just keep this dating going and not, you know, prosper? So honestly, y'all, it was like once we got in that apartment, and you know, like I said, we got that talk from my grandmother, and we finally, you know, got married. That kind of put everything in like perspective, and it made us actually closer, because we were depending on each other now. It was like real. It was like, wow, we're one now. And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. When you get married, you become one. You
mesh. You have to mesh together. Yeah.
People,
right.
You get married, you become one.
You don't live two separate lives in the same house.
Exactly. You stand up there and you repeat after that pastor, and he tell you what you agreeing to. So when you get out of that, it doesn't mean when you walk out, it changes. You become one, and then you have you have individual lives, but you are still operating as one accord, man. Remember that.
Who's that means?
Who's the what?
I'm sorry, girlfriend Peggy. What were you going to say?
Yeah, I was saying when you going back to the becoming as one. Is it that you're always mindful like when people say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, well, I need to check with my wife first. I need to find out where she stand on this area. I need to check with my husband. I don't make decisions without him. We're gonna, make these decisions together. What we should do, where we should go, who we should do it with. What? That's a part of the coming together as one. You're thinking about each other constantly all the time. That I just can't be out here making moves by myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and thinking about me and not thinking how it's going to affect her. So listen to this. I don't cook, right? But I'll say we need to find out what we're gonna eat tonight. No, she doesn't cut the yard, but I said we need to get out and figure out what we're gonna do in this yard. So taking that outside of the house, my mindset is when I'm talking to somebody about us, it's always gonna be we, because we're one. Right. You're incorporating each other into every aspect of everything. Exactly. So if she's cooking, you right there to know I'm gonna wash the dishes. We're gonna clean up the kitchen together. It's not, you don't have to cook, bring the food home, cook it, wash the dishes, put them away, take out the garbage and all that. I got you. We're gonna do this together. Okay. So the reason why she's so the reason why she's laughing is because we've agreed to certain things that she does in the house and I do in the house. I don't ask her to do certain things. She doesn't ask me to do certain things, because we're just automatically going to take on those chores because we feel like, okay, this is doable for me. I'm not going to have my wife doing this. And the same vice versa. She takes on task in the house that she like, look, if I cook, she's gonna do it, So dishes, she'll do the dishes. Me, I cut the yard. I get out and sweat and get up on the roof and all that stuff. So, but the bottom line is even though I know I don't cook, I use the verb, hey, what do we eat? And people got to understand that it's a mental thing. When you say I, you tune yourself out of the relationship most of the time, because when I make decisions based on we, not I. So, right. Yeah, that's why when you see her, you see me. And when you see me, you see her. And that's just how it is. And people may not like that most of the time, because we get asked that too. Man, you guys are always together.
Why? Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We've had people ask that question.
Yeah, they ask it all the time. Why y'all together all the time? You've been asked that by loved ones. But my definition. Well, my definition is this. When I wake up every day to my best friend, right? So guess what? I don't have to do. I don't have to get on the phone and call my best friend and say, hey, you want to go get something to eat? You want to go to the movies? You want to go shopping? You want to do this? You want to do that? Because she's right here. Now, if there's other men involved and other women involved that are our friends, they know who they are. They know we have no problem with her going somewhere with them or me going somewhere with someone else. But you definitely got to keep those out of there. That's not true to understanding that we're unit first. We're unit. We come first. That's it. Period. And you can challenge that, but you're never gonna win it.
That's the way it should be. I am really surprised that people would ask you that.
Be amazed.
Of all the things to ask you.
Yeah. America videos, which one?
Yes. So how do you resolve conflict now? 24 years later.
We have these talks now.
Oh, fireside chats? Is that what you're having?
Yeah, we have fireside chats.
Yeah, we have these educational talks and reminders of things. No matter how long we've been together, there's things that just gonna repeatedly happen.
Because honestly, we are opposites. People think we're alike, but we're not. We're opposites.
Yeah.
So we just
do attract.
yeah, that's a true statement. So yeah.
Now, and our motto is this. We could, me and my wife can have a heated argument before this broadcast. You would never know it because it's none of y'all business. So how do we handle it? We handle ourselves accordingly. We get to the issue at hand. We talk about it. We get an understanding. But one thing we don't do is we're not gonna keep carrying this shit over and over and over. Dwell on it. You know what I'm saying?
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving.
Trying to come up with a solution.
Yeah, no one wins in that situation.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna keep. And most of the time, it could be just resolved with somebody being the bigger person and say, you know what, babe, I'm sorry. You know what, I was wrong. You know, I didn't mean to do it. And if I said it this way, I'm not trying to get on your nerves. I'm not trying to be mean to you.
Right.
So that's the man in me that has to say, hey, look, if I said, maybe I said it wrong.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's tone, it's attitude, it's a lot of things that go into communication that people seem to overlook. Just like texting. When you text somebody, they can easily make it wrong, and you don't use it that way. But it's coming off raw. It's coming off a certain kind of crazy looking way. But that communication is real tricky.
Right.
Yeah. The bottom line is
how you say it.
We're at that age now where before, like I said, when we was young, this shit would go on for weeks. Yeah, we wouldn't talk to each other. We would just hang up the phone. We would drive around Orlando chasing each other in the car. We would hide our cars behind each other's house. We did all kinds of crazy shit. Now my first ring came out the window.
Throwing rings at them. I don't want this.
Get that ring. I still got a ring somewhere on 33rd. The first ring I ever bought. It's probably somewhere.
I tried to go back and find it. I couldn't find it. I felt so bad.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't mean to throw it out the window. I was trying to throw it at him, and it went out the window.
Well, I didn't have good hands. Okay. So we not, but that was then. Yes, we were young and dumb. We didn't understand that no one's gonna win in that situation. But now that we older and we grown, yeah, we still have our disagreements. But after 30 years, let's get past it so we can get back to doing us.
Yeah, because most of the time it's excuse my language, dumb shit. I'm like, really? If you think about it, we argue over this.
Yeah,
right.
I just want peace.
So peace.
Yeah.
And worked up an appetite. They say, well, baby, I'm sorry. Let's go get something to eat.
Right. Yeah. What you want to eat?
No, makeup sex. It's time for makeup sex.
So what that just it just brings me to one thing, and I'm gonna say this. We talk to a lot of couples and we talk to a lot of individuals about, everybody see the 30 years, they don't see the work. But to get to this point, we understood what we had to do. And everybody, when we asked that question, what do you think you need in a relationship to really unlock the potential of you being with that person? First they would say, oh, I need trust, I need communication, I need commitment. Trust. And those are all good. But we found out for us, it was compromise. Because what do you do when you meet somebody? You compromise yourself. You give, I'm not, right now in your mind, you're not going to compromise yourself for anybody that you don't trust, love, and you give up that. So when you get with that person, yeah, I'm compromising a lot to be with her. I normally don't do this, but I'm an individual person. So when you learn to compromise, and like my wife, I'll give you a prime example. She liked to go to garage sales. I don't do garage sales, but I see the joy on her face. So I compromise and I sit in the car with her. But guess what it does when she goes up there and she finds that hidden gem and she gets in the car and her face is like this. She falls deeper in love with me. Now, you know, it's you get all those things that you want. I can say, babe, now we went to the garage sale. Can I go do something? Yes. Getting the good.
Okay.
Easy.
You don't learn.
Yeah.
How to get to my heart.
Yeah. And we wouldn't do that in the beginning. But once we figured it out, shit, all we got to do is compromise and kind of, do some things that we're uncomfortable that we don't normally do. And we can fall deeper in love. Now she trusts me. Now she loves me. And she's committed to trying to make me happy because I'm doing the same thing for her. So learn to compromise.
And now you got a buddy. Yeah, you got buddies that you can go garage shopping with. So I'm a thrift shopper. I'm a garage shopper. I'm a redecorator. I'm a refurbish something. I'm a redo it and repurpose it. I'm always looking for those hidden jewels out there that people don't see. And when you can find a buddy that like to do that with you, you excited. And then, like you say, you got to figure out. It's not about just doing the things that make me happy. I know I got to do things that go with him and do things that he enjoying as well. So get back to that session together again.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody got to remember that you're still individuals. I mean, we're married, we're one, but we're individuals with different minds. And she has goals, and I have goals in life. Who am I to say, okay, since you married me, all that stops? This woman waited 20 years to tell me she wanted to DJ. I'm trying to get out of it. I want to DJ. I could have said, man, you crazy. I'm not doing that. Well, I gave her
that's
rules.
what you want to do.
Yeah, I gave her rules. I'll help you. This is the compromise. I'll help you, but you got to get up every morning and show me you're dedicated. And she did that. So that was the compromise. And we got together, and now she's
driving them crazy.
Now she's a professional DJ, gets hired for wonderful jobs, exciting events. And was really cool was watching her progress, because she would show herself on Instagram practicing. She would, just doing a little something, just trying this out, just learning how to do this. I love the way you've branded yourself, DJ Mellow Yellow, and everything has the yellow touch on it. I mean, well, what you've done with that is fantastic. Kathy Lovett's in the building, and she says that the key is focusing on what makes the other person happy, and then both of you will be happy. And she mentioned in an earlier comment that you resolve your issues and get it straight, and don't go to bed angry. So do you follow that don't go to bed angry rule too?
Yes. Yeah, for the most part. Sometimes
no, we both say the same.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
I'll be angry at her and Hershey because they sit up there. See, I don't fall asleep. So I get angry. I'm like, they sleep. But
he's a light sleeper.
Yeah,
I go to bed.
You mentioned Herschel, but everybody doesn't know who that is. Where's Herschel?
Hershey's right here.
He trust me, he'll come
Hershey, on. Like Hershey candy.
Yes.
Hershey Kisses.
Yeah.
All right, Hershey Kisses.
Oh Lord,
let's see Hershey. Where is Hershey?
Hershey done. He gonna make it to the
see
camera.
The after. Come here. This way.
No, Miss B.
I just want to say real quick to DJ Mellow Yellow.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say real quick. I saw, I think I'm a friend with you on Facebook. I just wanted to say congratulations because you made the top 100 female DJs list. All right.
Oh, thank you.
I did.
They nominated me. Yeah, they had nominated.
They nominated you. Oh.
As one of them, but they're doing like some sort of voting now or whatever.
You have to vote. So.
That was
okay.
Unexpected.
I hope you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't do it, Peggy. I'm already living with.
No, he's not. Anyway.
So yeah.
Don't go ahead up here.
Yeah. So we've gone to bed angry before, but is it often? No. I mean, I think over 30 years, we're probably 10% of the time going to bed angry at each other, maybe less than that. But, if it's something that just needs to cool down and, we just let it cool down and then wake up the next morning. We've had stuff carry over to the next morning.
I mean, it's not,
and
we're not perfect, that's for
yeah,
sure. So we've had our moments.
When the house is quiet, we know.
It's very quiet because we don't have kids. So if we're not talking to each other, it's like total silence other than the TV or the music playing.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then, you know, then in that quiet time, you know, one of us, mainly me, because I'm the talker. My wife, she's not the big talker, but she, you know, once I hit that button, she'll go. You know, so I have to say, okay, you know, let me call this woman. And we, like I say, we'll try to do the young and dumb stuff, but it don't happen as well as it did in the past.
Yeah.
Our patience.
Now let me ask you, is there any sleeping in separate bedrooms in the house? And this is going to lead to another thing. But is there any sleeping when you're mad and angry and upset and can't stand each other? Or you just going to get in the bed and turn your back on each other and go to sleep?
Hell to no. We sleep in the same bed. I paid for that bed. She paid for it.
We might turn our backs to each other, but we're not going to two separate rooms.
Yeah. And then if I want to make up with her, I don't want to travel that far.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You got to know your woman's weakness.
Okay.
I know her
weakness.
We don't sleep in separate beds. We don't play that game. Like I said, we signed up for this shit. We gonna do it till the wheels fall off. You know, yeah, it's all good. Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, because Miss girlfriend Miss B and I had a quick conversation one day during the weekend. The lady was saying she wanted to get, the young man wanted to marry her. She wanted to marry him as well, but she did not want to have children, and she wanted two separate households. I'm saying two separate households, not because of his job, not because he out of state or live in a different place. She wants two separate households. I'm like, now how doable is that? You really don't want to be married if you want your husband to live in a whole separate household.
Well, forgive me, y'all, and I know we got live viewers on here.
New school stuff.
My mama said this new school shit is getting out of hand. Okay,
it's getting out of hand, right? It's going crazy.
We rewrite history with all this bullshit. Either you're gonna be together or you're not. Hey, if you're gonna marry, if I'm gonna marry my wife, it's a tradition in this country, or at least I know up until now, because shit is real different these days in the dating game. So we can't even speak on that. But if you're gonna get married to somebody, don't bring that stupid shit to the table. Leave it. If you got it, if you're gonna come tell me, oh, I want to get married to separate household, well, guess what? You just take that shit over there and leave it alone.
You don't want to do no wifely duties. You don't want to do anything. Why you want to get married then if you wanted two separate households? Like that's crazy as hell to me too.
Yeah,
I couldn't understand it, but
he didn't want my last name to be hyphenated. Not that I wanted it to be hyphenated, but again, that's old school. I'm not hyphenating my name. Why am I going to hyphenate my name? I'm marrying you, so I'm taking your last name.
You'll have a hyphen-ass husband.
He would not.
I'm like, yeah. You know, we a lot of us watched our parents, and you know what? The old school thing in this country is diminishing when it comes to relationships and marriages. And not just call us old school because, like I said, we have friends that have been together longer than us, and they are on that same formula. Hey, I married you. I didn't marry your friend. I didn't marry your mama. I didn't marry your cousin. I married you. So everybody that revolves around that needs to understand that you're not bringing the craziness that's going on in this world to this relationship. Now, what you do is your problem. But if you're going to allow somebody to change tradition, then God help you, man, because I'm not. Tradition is what got us here.
Right.
Okay. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
And there you go. Now, you'll never be broke.
I think she froze again.
Yes.
She did.
She said, "You'll never be broke again." Maybe that was the cue into. I want to talk about P-Funk's creations. That's what I wanted to. Because when I saw your page and I saw the furniture and the shutters on the windows and that little cute bow tie, I was like, he is creative. I was like shocked. I was kind of blown away. I was like, he is talented. I don't know if it's something you developed from a young age, doing, making furnitures and things like this. Tell us about that.
Well, the way that started, Ms. Peggy, is, and I'll give credit to, I always like to give credit to people. Mr. T. Gaines has an event each year that he does called Seersuckers and Sundresses downtown. And what this event is about,
again, please.
Seersuckers and Sundresses, where it's about the outfits, the colors, and the bow ties, and most of the women, the women are wearing sundresses, the guys are wearing bow ties and different things like that. So I went to one event one year and I saw, this is before this even came out, I saw a wooden bow tie and it kind of blew me away. So he does the event back to back to back. So I was like, you know what, my next event, I'm gonna try to create my own, because I've always been a visual person where I can see something, and if I see it, if it's wooden, I can kind of put it together. But at that time, so I had my dad, we just kind of rekindled, and my dad is he draws and he does woodwork. So I said, well, Dad, I want to make this bow tie for this event. And he did this thing called wood burning. And I was like, what is wood burning? And I took a piece of wood out of my garage and he started freestyling, and he drew a face on the wood by burning it into the wood. So we made this, we cut out this tie and he wood burned Funk Love in it. And I wore that to the next Seersuckers. And when I wore that, it was just basic. And we got so much attention off that thing. So I said, you know what? I'm going to see if I can do it on my own. So when I started doing it on my own, I just started, I bought the tools and I'm doing this stuff by hand, cutting it by hand and doing all that. And I made my first one and I wore that to one of and then it just started flowing. And once it started flowing and people started seeing it, they were like, hey, of course, here you go. I want one. Can I get one? So I kind of took on that role. But what my goal was is, if I said I'm going to make Miss B a tie and Miss Peggy a tie, you guys are only going to have that tie. I'm not going to, it's one of a kind. I'm not going to make it again. So when I was doing it, I was getting people's ties. I was dissecting them down, cutting the wood, and I couldn't keep up with it. It kept getting busier and busier and busier. So I remember delivering a tie to a client, a customer in Starbucks, and the regional or general manager of Starbucks was in that day, and she saw what I was doing, and she's like, "Is that a bow tie?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Can I see that?" And she was in, and she asked me. She's like, "Well, what do you charge for something like this?" And at the time, I was charging $150 a tie. And she told me, she's like, "You're not charging enough. You're custom making this by hand. It's taking you time. You're sewing. You're getting the bow tie. You're measuring people's neck." And I was like, "Well, what should I be charging?" She was like, "At least $300." And it's funny she said that, because King the Brand, B.B. King's grandson, who was in Tampa, there was a girl who came here that I met through a friend of ours. She was going to order a tie from him, and she's like, just for his ties alone was close to $400, and he was just ordering these things in bulk, I think, and having his name branded on. So, long story short, I got overwhelmed with it. I couldn't keep up with it, so I stopped doing it.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because it takes a lot to.
So then you branched off into other things.
Yeah, like the chandeliers and things like. I wanted this chandelier. Mello wanted this chandelier,
Oh
and
shucks, I didn't do the chandelier. Let me see if I
yeah,
can
but
get
this
them
time,
posted.
yeah, and at the time, the chandelier was like $2,500, and I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna spend $2,500. I'll make it myself. So I built the beam. I had my brother come over and he wired it up for me up there, and we got it up there, man, and that's what we're seeing now with all this light. And then it went into building a deck, and we've had parties here. We built planter boxes. I built her a custom closet, and the last thing I built was the coffee table. Yeah, all that right there on the other side where you see those brown benches. I built all that, and we built the deck. So has
That's awesome.
some great parties back there.
Yes, that is
Yeah, I
awesome.
love
I always
outdoor.
miss them.
Yeah.
That's where
So do you do? Are you still currently doing custom pieces and making them and selling them right now? Do you have that out on a
no,
website, or
no, ma'am.
how can if somebody
I'm
wanted
not.
something?
It's something I have to be inspired to do. So I'm not. People are still requesting it, but again, it's something. The last thing I made was the wooden necktie. I wanted to challenge myself to make a wooden necktie. So I did that and wore that to an event. But after that, no, I take that back. I made a button up tie with all the buttons. I don't think I put that one on.
No.
Yeah.
Shucks, I didn't do a picture of the but it's awesome. All of the things you do are so unique. They're so unique and awesome all the time. But what people can get with you for is to learn how to be a DJ, correct?
Now I'm gonna say that too. I'm gonna say this on that. I finally got told I needed to be obedient because, and this is the button up tie. That's all buttons.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
Okay.
Come back, son.
Yeah, we
Beautiful.
bring it back some because we're kind of losing it. Yeah, there we go.
So yeah, that's the last.
Okay, that's nice.
But with the DJing thing, you guys, this started a while ago, years ago, back in like 2016. It's a few DJs in the city that approached me about learning to DJ, and me being open-minded, I'm like, well, just let me know when, and that's always been my motto. But in training them, it started kind of getting this buzz out that, hey man, just hey, if you want to learn, man, just ask Funk. Okay. So kind of caught on from then, and then it just started becoming something that, and my latest student, DJ Status Quo, who's probably on here as well, he told me something. He's like, man, you just need to be obedient, man. This is what you're supposed to be doing, and you're trying to run from it. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't call myself a DJ. I just call myself P Funk, and everybody like, you don't call yourself a DJ. I just like play music, man, but I love the teaching aspect, because when I see to have people come in and put their trust in you, because y'all know this DJ game is brutal, man.
It's getting to be a beast.
Yeah. So to see people come in and put their trust in me, while I'm taking people from not knowing anything to something, and the motto in this house is no handicaps, because coming up with this female DJ, they get it the worst, because when they go into a club setting, the majority is male DJs in this industry. So if they don't know how to use certain things, they don't know certain things, they already are looked at like, nah, you ain't worth it. When they come here, you learn everything. You touch everything. And that way, when you leave, there's no handicaps. You can walk into anybody's venue and put your hands on their equipment and use it. So that's what it is.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, because that's not how it used to be. When we were coming up, you had two turntables, and a mic. You might have some, PV speakers, and that was it. And as a female, you didn't see females didn't DJ because we didn't have the physical strength to move the equipment.
That makes sense.
I remember them days.
Oh,
that makes a lot of sense.
But guess
you didn't have it. You had to have crates and of music.
Exactly.
There was no music in a computer for a DJ. You had to buy it. You had to carry it. You had to catalog it. You had to be able to see it, know it in the dark.
Preach, Miss B.
That takes true talent.
But let me speak on that, Miss B. So in this journey, in this class, guess what? All the DJs that come through here, with the exception of a few, they get to touch real vinyl because I still have the turntables, the technique, the needles. And then the funniest thing with this one, when I did it for our anniversary, I said, I got something special for you. It's our anniversary. I took her in the room and I brought out 2 albums. I brought out I'll Be Sure and Don't Look Any Further. And I say, okay, I'm gonna show you what you do it. She tries to go to her laptop. So I'm like, look, think about what back in the days, what did you bring to a party? And just like you just said, you didn't bring no laptop. So she had to kind of think about it. And she finally said, oh, damn, I can't use this laptop. I said, exactly. And when she touched that real vinyl, I think she had a newfound respect because it's a difference.
It's
you
a
can't
big
just
difference.
you can't be on that stuff. That needle will jump. You better have some finesse. So yes, when people come through here, if we get to that point, yes, I'll bring out the turntables. I try not to bring out them needles too often because they cost an arm and a leg. And I let the students feel the difference. So yeah, I enjoy the teaching, but I only enjoy it with people that want to stay dedicated to it. Don't waste my time. I don't want to waste nobody's time. I tell everybody that. I'll get you to where you want to be. I'm not going to make you be funk. You're not going to be mellow. So when they come here, they come equipped with what they want to learn and with the music they want to spin. All my job is to get you there on this equipment. So
and what I love about it is you bring the music out of them.
Exactly.
As opposed to saying, this is all of the music that you need to play in the club. You help them find their identity as a DJ. Yeah. Because that's what separates, one DJ from another.
Exactly.
Because all of the music, they all have access to all of the same music.
Right.
Preach.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Preach.
Oh,
like a poet. Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Yes. So yeah.
I have such a love for it, and I can't believe that I never, did it the way you do it. But the love for it is there. The love for it is there, for sure.
So,
and we. Yes, Peggy.
No, I was going to ask. And so when you're teaching them how to scratch, you're teaching them how to jump in and when to say something and the right thing. How do they have to be a natural and kind of just how the old style DJs, they would yell out stuff in the middle often. They're gonna they're gonna make that train sound go off, or they're gonna do this and do that, and they incorporate all these different things. That's what you're showing them how to do. They got to kind of their own spin on it and duplicate that, or what?
Well, I have a motto in this city, and like I say, I'm big on giving credit where credit's due. In our city, being around certain DJs for so long, when it comes to what you were just saying, like the miking, Orlando kind of has a standard, man. We went from, Jam Pony to Disco and the City Boys, and then we went to Mega City DJs with Sir Night Train. And then you got into the Johnny Torrances, and so on and so forth. Well, I set the standard to those three. You got Jam Pony, Disco, and you got Train. Once you get past that, because they've been in this city so long, they know the art of miking, MCing. Everything past that, and there's no disrespect to anybody. They knew the art. They didn't just talk over music. They talked and story told over the music. So now in this day and age, when somebody comes here, I just tell them to naturally be yourself because you're not a full-fledged DJ unless you can mic. I know the new thing is, most people want to have a host to mic for you, but I don't need anyone to mic for me, and that's how she was taught. So Mello, and they you should mic for Mello. No, I don't. That's not the rule in this house. She mics for her damn self. You know what I'm saying? So exactly, and that's
hyping the crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then again, saying just what you're saying about, what do I teach them? I teach them to be them. So when they come here, if they say they want to scratch, like, and I'll say this, I ran a DJ page called Monday Night Mixes #GoLive, which I think Miss B knows about that as well.
Yeah,
where
love
this
that.
vision was to unite DJs locally, but it turned into globally. And I started in with Facebook Live, first went live on Facebook the week after. It ran for 6 years straight. And I had over 250 DJs worldwide on that page. So what that did for me is it unlocked the potential to get information to DJs. So when my wife said she wanted to learn how to scratch, I'm not a scratching DJ. I can do a little bit, but when you got a DJ that's in New York that says, I'm willing to show Mello how to do some things, I'll FaceTime her. That's the blessing in this. So I have access right now. I probably have over 100 numbers of DJs in my phone right now that I can call and just say, hey, man, my wife or my students don't know how to do this. Could you show them? They'll be like, P-Funk, it might be in an English accent. P-Funk, maybe I can do it, So that's the blessing. So if I don't know something, I can get the answers to it. But the main thing is, if Miss Peggy said, okay, I'm gonna be DJ Peggy. Well, when you come here, the first thing I'm gonna do is find out what type of DJ you want to be, and definitely we're gonna learn your equipment first. The music is the easy part, like Miss B said. It's all the same music. It's how do you know your equipment? Are you gonna put in the work? That's what matters. After you learn something. Are you gonna take this equipment home? Now, this shit is expensive, y'all. This equipment is expensive. So when you invest in, these people invest in their money, I want to make sure they know what to do with their pieces of equipment. The music aspect is the easiest part because they're going to be them. They might say, oh, I have somebody, he's an older gentleman, and I'm not going to say no name. We all know him, but he wants to be a stepping DJ. Okay. All right, bring the music. Let's see if we can put it together and make it make sense.
Yeah.
So
and that's how it's done. That's how it's done. And it's funny how you talk about miking. Another thing, there were no women on the mic.
Exactly.
There were no women on the mic. I think maybe I was the only woman in Orlando consistently in the club on the mic, and
we were there.
Even
and we were there, and I was second there.
Yeah, and the fun is that even that I didn't do it the way the men did it. The men on the mic were way different from me because the were on the mic, stood next to the DJ, and they controlled the volume of the music. Exactly. They would take that music all the way out, say what they want to say, hit it back up. Go, they would do. I didn't do that. I didn't crowd the DJ. I took advantage of the instrumental part of the music, or the certain part in the song. As it went. Or if I wanted it, I tell them. I said, hey, I need instrumental. When the next time you blend, the next time you mix into something, give me some time.
Yep. Yep.
and then I do my thing, say whatever I had to say, and I was back in the crowd. You
Exactly.
know, or sometimes we were in the crowd, and once you get to the part where everybody's up all the way hype, then I might talk some over the music or in with the music.
Exactly.
But
see,
we had to be there.
You knew how to be in a crowd and make your voice project without having to do this. And you would command the room because they knew your voice. You didn't have to, you didn't have to be behind there pulling the mic down. Oh, that's Miss B. We knew who you were. So
yeah. It's a good one. I am so excited to see the female DJs, take over and do their thing. It's a beautiful thing.
We got a long ways to go, but we are trying to get there.
Yeah, and y'all are making it happen. Y'all are making it happen for real. But you all are a beautiful couple. You have a wonderful story, and just everything is lovely. So talented, both of you. And so we just wish you continued blessings and success. And we just thank you so much for being part of the Raw Talk family.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys, man, and y'all keep going. And everybody on here, we should be supporting. So when Miss B gives you that call, answer the phone. Miss Peggy give you that call, answer the phone.
That's right.
And topics, man. So
yes.
Hey, we applaud y'all ladies, man.
Yes.
Hey, thank you.
All right.
We're getting ready to push 2 years, girlfriend.
Yes.
And December, January will be 2 years for us. Yes. So we hanging in there. We taking it one day, one step at a time.
All right. Well, we got to do it big on the anniversary.
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to get this thing set up where we can get a DJ in the room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would love that.
Yeah, we
would love that. Any volunteers?
Heart, who goes there?
Yes. You already know.
Yep.
The number one female DJ, most definitely. But we would love to make that happen. So we'll talk. We'll talk about it. We'll keep
it raw when we talk.
Yes. I want to thank you, P-Funk, for keeping your shirt on tonight, though. I know it was a challenge.
I had to keep doing like this. Like, don't you do
it. My next thing, I'm gonna be on my unicycle. I've been tempted to take off and just get on my uni and ride with the shirt off. So
you are an amazing person. This man has a motorized unicycle. You have got to have balls the size of church bells.
Really? Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it, man. Love it.
He's a daredevil.
I love it, man. And hey, look, I saw this thing.
Yeah, you got balls.
Believe it or not,
you got nerve, you got guts.
It's just like the DJing.
Cajones.
When you don't think you can do something, then you find out you can.
True.
And on that happy
God
note,
bless you.
We bid you good night. We want to thank you. We want to thank all of the Raw Talkers for being in the building with us tonight. Make sure that you go to YouTube and subscribe, like, comment, share, notification bell. Oh, I love a kiss. Yes. Kisses. Thank you all for being with us. We got nothing but love for you, baby.
Yes. It's an honor.